and welcome to my studio. Today we're going to be doing some file folder art. So it's March the 4th today, and I haven't started my monthly file folder for March. So like everyone else, we're all thinking about spring. We all need the spring. It's sunny here, but it's very chilly here. So still lots of snow, but hopefully next week we're supposed to be getting some warmer weather, and that'll be nice to have. So if you're following along with this monthly file folder, hope you will join me with this one today. And it's a lot of fun, so I hope you get your paints out and join me with this one. I do have a printable for this. It's going to be, let's see, Daffodils that we're going to be doing. So this is the Traceable that you can download on Google Drive. And we're going to be painting it in the traditional colors of daffodils, the yellow, different shades of yellow. And I'm going to be using a scrapbook paper on the background. So if you have some scrapbook paper that you're not using really, get some of that. And then download this Traceable and trace it onto your page. And just check and see there. Where I'm finding my video. If it's up. I am not finding me. Just hold on, people. Still having problems with all of this stuff. Ah, there we go. Found me. All right. Finally. Oh, darn, it's private. Back. Public. All right, everybody. Hopefully I've got everybody watching now. I had it on private. Yes, I'm still figuring this out. I have a new program, and there's so many ways of going live with it, and I keep goofing it up. But anyways, today we're going to be, I'll repeat this again because the other part was on the private. So we're going to be doing this daffodil painting, and I'm going to be doing it in my file folders for March, and I hope you enjoy this. I do have a downloadable for you, and it's in the description below, and you can download that and paint along with me. I'm just going to be using it on top of some existing scrapbook paper that I had, and I've already done that. So this is the background, is just scrapbook paper that I've glued onto the file folder. So it's just a plain normal file folder, and this is going to be for March. So I like to put all my loose watercolors and anything that I've done in loose form, like watercolor paper, canvas, whatever I have. If I haven't put it into a book, it goes into these files, and then I can keep an eye on where everything is and when I did it. So it's a good way of storing your other bits of art that you may have. You could have little notes too. This is the watercolor that I did on Tuesday. On Tuesdays is a watercolor day, and there's also a downloadable for these cute little baby birds, the grumpy birds. That's what I call them. And it's not that difficult. I did put a little bit of pen and watercolor is all I used on this. The pen gives it a little bit of an extra cute look, I think. And I just happened to have this. This is a jelly print, and I thought if I were to frame this, this would make a really cute little background for the painting. It kind of has the same similar colors in it. I think it's cool. So, what else do I have here? I did a really cute canvas painting, and this is mixed media, and this is part of the class that I do on the membership, and this is the Blooming Artist membership, and it's got collage, it's got lace, and I even actually put in some cute little stitching in here of the eyelash string, or whatever it's called, thread. So kind of gave it a little cute look to the bird. And there's also a little downloadable for this, and all the supplies is in the membership on the community page if you're interested in taking that. I just thought I'd show you last week we did this cute little snowman, and I put him in as a belly band in my, this is February folder. Hey Janet, Jersey, Joan, good to see you. So there's also a downloadable for this one if you're interested in doing this one. It's very simple, and I give you a step-by-step of that one too. Thanks, Janet. I love those little grumpy birds. That's what I call them. This is also what we did in last Friday for the Blooming Artist, and it's a negative painting class, and I have the downloadable for the silhouette of these birds and nest and everything. This is a lot of fun to do. You can pretty well take any silhouette that you have and do this type of art. You can use whatever color you want, and then you just layer over top of that with another color. So it gives it a really neat effect. Did you paint them, Judy? I'd love to see it. And this was collage and painting, and this was done for Mary Altier's fourth Saturday hop, video hop. And this was a lot of fun. So I just cut out the head and arms of a model from one of the modeling magazines, and then I used her in a little scene. It's supposed to be kind of Salvador Dali style. So there's a little town that's happening on her dress, and you see the clouds are kind of going off, and the little balloons are flying out of the out of the little town, and she's holding one big balloon, and she's kind of suspended in space. So nothing has to make sense with Salvador Dali stuff. You just kind of go way out there. Oh, you got warmer weather? Awesome, Judy. It's pretty chilly here, but it's sunny. Thank goodness. It's sunny and it's not snowing. So I say that's a good day. Tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but next week we're supposed to get warmer weather, so hopefully we'll get rid of a lot of this snow that we have. So this, I'm still going to play with this. I still got things to do. This is just a half a folder, and I'm going to actually glue this in here and then do something else on here. But I'm going to do some of my notes on here about the classes that I'm doing or whatever. Maybe about the paintings. I keep track of my stuff. And I think what I'm going to do, instead of putting everything in different books, like I've got my art right now in these folders, but I also have a daily, well, it's not really daily, but kind of a diary, but a visual diary that I do too. But I don't show it on stream because it's private. But I think I'm going to try to incorporate something that I can put in here as a little booklet, that I can still do that in here, but I can close it, so when I'm showing, you won't see my writings about what went on for my month. But I'd like to keep it all in one spot then, instead of a whole bunch of different books. I'm one that's not going to look through a bunch of different books. I kind of like it all in one place. It's just me. I don't mind a art journal, but I don't want a whole bunch of them. I find they get kind of put here and there, and then you forget about them, and then 2 years down the line you go, oh, I forgot I had this one. And it's like, so I like to, fewer is better for me. So that, yeah, so that was that last month. I was showing everybody there's the little birds that we did on Tuesday. So you can download those if you want and try them out. This is watercolor. You can do these in acrylic, oil, whatever you want. The pattern just isn't for watercolor. So actually the pattern was from a acrylic book of painting, and all the patterns that I give you on these, if they're not mine, if they're out of books, I have written permission to use them for my classes. So I just thought I'd let you know that. This one that we're going to be doing today is one I drew. So you can download it. It's the Google Drive link is down below in the description. And art along with me. It's going to be simple. It's not going to be that hard. There's not too many colors. There's just green, white, 2 shades of yellow, and some raw umber, and a bit of white. That's about it. Thanks, Joan. put those over there. And what I've done here is I've actually used, this is the background from a scrapbook paper. I love using scrapbook papers for the background. It's less work. They still look fantastic. So why not use them? They're just sitting in my boxes. And I'm not doing scrapbooking. I just love the paper, but I may as well use the paper instead of just sitting there. So I think this one was out, oh, I can't remember, the K & Company maybe? I'm not sure. I did get some Happy Mail, and just took 2 months, but it was coming from Lena. And it's always fun to get Happy Mails from people. And she sent me some really cute stuff. I think these are out of the Daphne's Diary book. So she wrote a nice little note for me. That was cute. And she sent me, you know what, Lena has got the best imagination in the world. And she sent me 3D glasses. And we had been talking about this for quite some time, a while ago, and she said she'd send them to me. So what we want to do is actually do a drawing and a painting wearing these 3D glasses. Because you do see differently with them, and then see what comes out of it. And I think that's going to be a riot. So hopefully I can get talking to her again, and maybe we'll do a stream about it, the two of us, and see what happens. I think that would be a lot of fun. And then she gave me one of her little watercolor paintings. That was so sweet. So I've got that. That'll go on my fib wall. I'll frame it. Yeah. Lena's got the best imagination, I'm telling you. You gotta go visit her channel. She's like, oh, she's great. And this is cute, little gingerbread man. Of course, this was like around Christmas that she mailed this. Didn't get it till yesterday. And then she sent me these beautiful papers. I love these. And they're two-sided. And these are going to be great. And then this one, it's got little buildings on it. That's cute. And then on the back is flowers and birds. And then these are the weekly planner sheets. I don't know. Yeah, Daphne's Diary, it says. These are great. So I'll be able to put these in my planner. Well, I don't really plan, but I just write things in a book, and then when I have the time, I'll do a page. Drawing up my day instead of writing about it. And then these cute little, they're little tags. So these will be cute. So thank you very much, Lena, if you're lurking. It's always a joy to get stuff. It's the way the postal is anymore. It's so darn expensive sending anything. So I really appreciate it when I do get some. All right. Oh, yes. And I may as well show this. You guys are interested in it. I did get some Schminky paint. And I had to get this from the UK because they don't have it here. And I just picked out certain colors. I was watching different YouTubes where they were showing this brand. It's a new type of paint, and it's a very granulating paint, and it also has different colors that come out of it. So this one here I got is Tundra Violet, Forest Brown, Forest Blue, Glacier Green, and Deep Sea Green. So Tuesday we'll be swatching these and seeing how they move. These are awesome. I've watched quite a few people use these. All right, so I think that's it for my goodies that I've got. So if you're going to play along, download that this link for the Traceable, and then we'll get going. You can put it on just right on your folder, or you can use scrapbook paper, or you can use any kind of more heavyweight paper would be the best, because we are going to add some pretty wet material to this. So, and if you do paint it, tag me on Instagram or Facebook, because I'd love to see it. Hi Eileen, haven't seen you for a while. You've been hibernating? Was it cold down your way? Yeah, isn't it, Nana? 3D glasses? This is going to be a riot. Okay, Devin, thanks for popping in. All right, we have saffron yellow here. Perfect yellow for daffodil centers, because they're usually a little bit brighter. They're not always, but and then I like using, let's see what we got here, a nice rich yellow. So this is opaque yellow. So a medium cadmium yellow would do if you don't have craft paint. It's nice down there. Lucky girl. We got sun here. No more blizzards. And then I'm going to put out some white. So whatever white, you could also use gesso. And we have, this is Delta Ceramic Coat. It's an old one. It's called Lime Green. And we'll need a little bit of this for around these areas of the buds. So just a little bit of that. Egg yolks. Yeah, that's the good description. And then I've got some either evergreen or, let's see, what else have we got here? I think I want more on the blue side. So this is Hussar green, dark green, because they do have a little bit of a blue tinge to their leaf. So just, you could always add some blue to it if you don't have those colors. All right, your blizzard look, I know, it was like a shock. It was slightly snowing, and then all of a sudden, bam, the roads are closed, schools are canceled. It didn't last long, though. It only lasted like 12 hours, and then it was gone, and it was sunny the next day. It was so weird. I got some good paintings coming up, Colleen, that you're gonna like. Some farmish. I'll just say that. All right, so let's start off. I like to paint because the background's already done. We don't have to worry about the background. If you haven't got a background, you'll have to paint your background first. It's easier to paint a background and then put your traceable on top of that. So I would recommend doing that. You can either watch this stream all the way through and then go back and do it again, or you can just pause it until you're into the next step and then continue on. So let's get started here. So we're going to start off by the flowers first, and I'm going to start off from the back and work my way out to the front of the flower. So these petals here are more into this cadmium yellow shade. Where's my, make sure you have a paper towel so you can dry. You don't want a lot of wet on your brush. So I'm just gonna take some of this yellow here, and I'm just gonna paint in all of those petals this cadmium yellow color, just a base coat. And this is how I like to start off when I do paintings. I do a base coat of the kind of the mid-tone that you see mostly in that area that you're painting. I have a angled 1/2-inch brush here that I'm using. You can use a flat or a round, whatever you feel comfortable with using. We're just filling in, so there's not really any brush work that would need this shape. It's just filling in. I just like the point on the end of it. You want a fairly good coat of it on there. If you're painting with student grade, you might find that you might have to put a white on first in that area, because I find the student grade paints are usually a little on the transparent side, so it's hard to cover if you're using a transparent paint, or you might have to actually put on a couple coats. So just go through and put your base coat on all petals. So I may as well do all of them because they're all going to be the same hue or color. Now, is there anything that you guys are doing that's special for this spring? Or is there anything you would like to see me paint for spring? Be a good time to leave a comment after the video's done or the stream is done, and so I've got a record of it, because it's hard going back into the chat to read it all. It takes a long time. So just leave it a comment in the comments. So I'm just leaving maybe a smidge of a line just to show where the petals are separate. You don't have to. You could actually just keep your pattern as a reference and use it when you start doing those areas. You got a rodeo starting, Eileen? So just relax. Take a nice deep breath and just relax. Have a nice quiet, or if you like music when you paint. I don't normally put on anything on, except maybe I'll be watching other streamers, because it makes me feel like I've got company then, instead of being alone all the time. I like music, but I just never think of putting it on for some reason. So you can cover up some of those dark lines if you want, or if you wanted to too, you could also just erase those with an eraser. A kneadable eraser is the best to use. So here's the other one. So hopefully once the snow is gone, we're supposed, from what they're saying now, how much you can count on it these days, the weather forecast for this area for the next 3 months is supposed to be normal. So hopefully that's true, because last year it was terrible. We had a huge freeze in June, and it just wrecked so many things. A lot of the perennials got turned into mush. So I'm hoping we don't get anything like that again. That was so disappointing. Now this area here, you could actually paint down to this with the yellow, because we're going to put some green on top of that. Okay, it might help if I put live chat on. There we go. And I was thinking of actually putting on some ribbon maybe in this. Quite a few years, it's got to be 10 years now. When I first started doing art journaling, mixed media, I was putting in kind of a ribbon of either different paper or actual ribbon, and it kind of looked really cool, and you laced it through the design of whatever you were painting. Kind of was a neat way of having your eye run through everything, because sometimes your composition isn't the best, and by doing that it corrects what you want people to see. So I might start doing that again, because that was really fun. I just liked the look of it, and maybe I'll use actual ribbon this time. I could actually cut slits into the paper and thread it through. That would look kind of cool. Or you could actually embroider something too, which always looks nice. Okay, this is a bud here. So it's a little bit of on the green side, but we'll put the yellow through it mostly, and then we'll just put the green where it's needed. So just keep putting your base coat on. Right down into there. There's kind of like a little paper covering when they're buds, and it stays on the flower part for quite a while. So we'll be doing those too. Okay, so there's our base coat. And we may as well do the leaves and finish all the base coat that we need to do. Or actually, what we could do, let's do the trumpets too. So the trumpets are this really nice, this saffron or egg yolk color, depending on your eggs. How is YouTube treating you today? Oh, you're having problems with YouTube, Judy? Hi, by the way. It can be a little troublesome, but I think they're always fixing things or adding things, and that interferes with streaming sometimes, or uploading videos, or I don't know, sometimes I can do a stream and then go look in my description to change something, and it's already uploaded, even the chat. And then other times it takes like a day. It's weird. I guess it depends on how many's in YouTube too, how many streams are going on and all that kind of stuff. Okay, I'm gonna have to get a little bit of a finer paintbrush. I'm not too worried about the shape because it's a ruffle around the edge of the trumpet. So don't worry if you don't get it exactly the shape. Nobody's going to come and say it's the wrong shape. They're all different. This one's a little more opaque than the other one. So I might have to go through and give that another coat. For some reason, I don't know why. So what's everyone's plans for spring? Something you planning on doing for the summer, or fixing your place up, or maybe, I know a lot of people are getting into gardening. Fixing their gardens up and putting in vegetables and fixing, renovating. we're getting out words deleted all stream at Joyce's yesterday. Oh, really? A bot. Somebody. I know there's. I watched a stream, or not a stream, a video, YouTube video about what words are not liked by YouTube. Some of the words were absolutely ridiculous. Like, couldn't figure out why they would even think of removing that. You just never know. What we do depends on what the COVID. Yes, true, Joan. It's hard to go anywhere too, and I find that I know last year there was hardly any annuals that you could buy anywhere because nobody wanted to buy anything to stock for sale because they didn't know if they were going to be open or not. So it'll be interesting to see what this year's going to be like. Plant me some violas. Oh. The daffodils are just starting to poke up. Yeah. You can plant once the ground gets a little bit warm, you can start putting shrubs, trees in, and anything like that. Especially if they have been outside for a while in pots. As long as you're not getting like a heavy-duty frost. Best to keep the pots in a garage or somewhere because the thaw and then freeze back and forth, that's what kills them. I didn't buy any plants for my decking plants and porch plants last year. No one had any worth having. Yeah. There's slim pickings, for sure. Really? They forbid tow yesterday? What the? That's ridiculous. Oh, man. Weird. That's all I gotta say. Weird. Just never know. Never know. Okay, I'm just mixing some of this green and these two greens together just to see what I get. I want fairly dark. Actually, I might go a little bit on the light side because I want to maybe add a little bit of yellow to that. See what we get. That's a nice green. So I'm just going to fill in my leaves here. Going to do the same thing. Just a base coat. And then we'll add any highlights or shadows to this afterwards. So it's not that difficult to do these if you do it in this way. Because once you have your base coat on, you don't have to worry about covering all of the areas with the proper shading. Like, I know some people like to not put the base coat on, and they just do each section as it comes with the color that's required. And that's really a hard way of going about it, I find. But some people like to do it that way. Let's see. The stems will be a little bit on the, may as well do those green too. They're a little bit different color, but let's see, that one, this one. the stem to this one. And that is the other leaf. Might get a little confusing, but that's why your traceable should be ready for you. So if you can't figure out where all the leaves are going, just look on your traceable to get a reference of it. Let's see. And you can always change your reference. You don't have to use it as it is. If you want to put an extra flower in, put an extra flower in. You could actually reverse this, mirror it, and take another copy of it, and then use it as a bouquet or something. You could tilt the flowers a different way. There's many ways of using these traceables, so feel free to experiment. Hi, Elmaris. Good to see you. Hope everybody's having a great day. Around there. A little tricky. And the tip. And right there. All right, so I think that, oh, we'll have to do these. So those are those little, it's like a paper over top of them. And they're kind of a brown, light brown color. So let's get some burnt umber. Just a dab, because I don't need a lot of that. And I think we'll just mix some white with that. So I'm just going to take some white here, dab a little bit of brown in it, maybe a tad of yellow. Let's see what we get. That's not bad. A little more yellow or white. It's kind of a dirty brownish yellow, I guess you could say. So let's cover those. That needs a little more brown, I think. It's a little on the yellow side. So just do the outline of those. I might have to get a smaller brush. Now that the nice weather's coming too, I think I'll probably, I said I was going to do it last year, and I got, with everything going on last year, and it was so hard getting stuff, and people were kind of in a funk, that I didn't bother doing the botanical drawing. So I think I'm going to do that this year. So I'm going to keep a garden book, I guess you could say, and do the drawings of my plants this year. So if you want to play along with me, I will be taking pictures, and you can use the drawings if you want, or the pictures and draw your own. Let's see. This is overlapping each other. And then we'll do a little garden booklet, which I think will be kind of fun. And I think I might just do it not just in one medium. I'll probably use a bunch of different mediums. Why not? Good, Judy. Then we could do, you know, little writings about the stuff if you want, or if you have, maybe you have some different garden plants that I don't have. You could take pictures of them, and we could do those too. So it'd be kind of fun to do. All right, I'm gonna get a smaller brush here because I'm gonna do more. Well, actually, no. I want to do the bigger petals. Now, the daffodils, they do have lines in them. So I'm just going to take some of this saffron color, and I'm going to put it over here as a mixing. And I'm going to mix this with a little bit of this umber color to darken it, just muddy it up a little bit. And just around where the petals are overlapping, we're going to put a little bit of this color in there. So I want a clean brush, and I'm just going to dab, where did I put it? Oh, I guess I'll use this. Dab one edge of your brush in the color. And you want to still add a fair amount of water so that it spreads evenly. So you can just put it on your tray here, or whatever you're using, and mix it into your brush a bit. So the edge that has the most paint will be on the edge of the petal where it needs that color. And I'm just let's see if it's going to be dark enough. Could be a little darker. And I'm just putting a line around. I think I need a little bit darker. So let's take some of that. And let's try that again. Okay, that's better. And then this one a little bit. And then take your brush before it wet, just wet, not paint, and just bring it out a little bit. If there's a line, a definite line, you don't want that. It's just for shading to show that there's an overlap. Let's see. So maybe this one is just slightly curved, so it'd be a little more shaded on one side. So put a little more on there. So I'm just using the one tip. And right in here. Don't outline them, just every so often. You don't want like an outline, just where they're meeting. You want to put some of this in. Just shows a little bit of shadowing. And where they overlap too, each other, there'll be a little bit of, because they're fairly transparent, so you're going to see the two leaves kind of through them together, which would give it a little bit of a darker look to it. So keep that in mind too. So this one would overlap that one. That's why this one's a little darker. This one here, put a little bit there. Can you see good enough, or do you want me to go in a little bit? Okay. Add a little bit more brown to this. And right around here, under this trumpet, is going to be darker. And around the edge of it. I'm going to take a little bit and just swift it up in the center, just to give it a little bit of color. And then some of that yellow, bright yellow, you can add, a little bit of white to it. So you lighten it, and then I can also use that for a little bit of highlight. So it have these little streaks down parts of it. And along the top of some of them would have a little bit of highlight. So I'm just more or less dry brushing this on. It's more on the outer edge than deep into the throat. And then a little bit more white. Lighten it up again. And just every so often, just some dry brushing in there. More along the outside edges. It's kind of impressionistic than really very detailed botanical drawing. Sometimes they're fun to do. I like doing these, and then there's no worrying about whether it's proper or not. You know it's a flower, and then you know it's a daffodil, so just play with it the way you want. Add a little more of that. And then just gonna dry brush. So I took some of the paint off, and I'm just going to sweep this down here a little bit. Just dry brushing it. And then there wasn't a lot of, it's not really deep orange in there, so I'm just going to pop in some more of this in here because it's kind of transparent. I just want a little bit more color. Okay, and now I think it needs to be a little bit on the more orangey side, so I'm going to add a little bit of red to this. So I'm just putting just a drop of red, not much, and I'm going to add that to that orange. I think that would be nicer to look at than, yeah, that's better. And just underneath the ruffle, just a few dots. And then along the edge of it too, just put a few dots. I think I'm going to take my small brush now. Got the smaller round. Just want this a little bit more soft. And I just want to just lightly fade it out, just a bit. So I'm just taking my wet brush and dabbing at it and pulling it into the other part of the flower. It doesn't take much. Just pulling it in towards the center of the flower, just a bit. Not enough on my brush. Just on the right hand side of it. Don't do this side, because it's kind of on an angle, so you won't see as much of the streaking inside. And a little bit of the yellow. And we'll just kind of streak that too. Maybe we'll have some little highlight areas. And And then I'm just gonna put a few outlines in here where the ruffle would be, just to dot a few highlights. Right in here, just as the lip starts to curve, you'll have a little bit of a highlight area that's brighter. You just have to play with it. And let's see, still showing that pencil line there. All right, and then inside is darker, so it's more of that orangey shade. And I'm just going to add some water to this, so I don't want it too thick. And then right around that area where you had the drawing on the left side inside, just bring that out a little bit with a darker color. I might need a little bit more on there. Just a bit more. And I'm just sweeping it so it's kind of raggedy looking, because they do have kind of ridges in it, I guess you could say. So I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to come back in and add more to that. So let's do this one here while that one's drying. So we had that brush again, the Waidu brush, and that yellow. Some of this, I don't want the green. Okay. So the egg yolk color. A little bit of that brown, just to darken it a little bit. And this will have just a little bit of dark areas under here by the back of it. And we'll put some in here. And just under there it's overlapping, so it'll have a little bit of shadow there. And just under here, so you can make some marks. And right in here, because of the angle it's on, just bring that out. So I'm just dabbing the corner of my brush in. And right in here, shadow it. And just a bit here. Not much. Maybe a little bit more there. And this one, right on the bottom part of this petal. If it's not on strong enough, you can darken it a little bit with more brown. Don't put too much brown in it though, because then it kind of loses its orange. Almost goes on a green side. Let's see. And then just a little bit there. I'm going to put a little more in there. And just sweeping it up a little bit. There's a bit of a line. I'm just going to bring it up a little bit. I think this needs to be a little bit more, because it's and this one is new, so it's not going to have as much, but we need a little bit in there. Hey, wannabe. Then need some of that orangey, more of the orangey color. So I'm just going to put some on there. A little bit of water to my brush. And it's going to be fairly dark around here. So just around that petal. And just up here a little bit. And then just take your brush and then sweep it up. Dry brush it. Just a bit. And then here, just put a little bit. Actually, I'll use my smaller brush now. So just to put around the areas that are overlapped in some way, you want them a little bit darker. Let's see, right. Put a little bit more in here. Just along there. Under here a little bit because it's hanging down, so it'd be a little bit darker. You could also use colored pencil if you're using craft paint to do a bunch of this. Okay. Then some yellow, the light yellow that we have. Let's see, we'll make up some more. And just at the near the top, just wisp it down a little bit. And then just here, it might be a smidge. And right in here. And just a few little flicks at the middle section here. Just a few. And same with here. I think I need a little more white though. I want this defined. I could probably take my marker and do it, but let's see. I think I need some there, and just at the top here, wisp it down, dry brush. And then, let's see, right along that fold edge, put some on there. And that's good for now. Let's see. I'm going to take my smaller brush and take some of that yellow again. And up here on the, let's put some highlights with the yellow. So just at the very tips of the might have a little bit sun shining through them, depending on what the light is coming from. That. Take my other brush, and I'm just going to sweep that down, I think, just a bit. Okay. That's not bad. We'll go back probably with that. So this one's dry up there, so let's put a little bit more of a darker area separating the throat. Okay, maybe a little bit in here again. Kind of a back and forth thing, really. Now they do have a little bit of green, so I'm just going to get that bright, what was it, lime green it's called. And I'm going to have fairly good amount of water in my brush because I just want more of a glaze than anything else on bits and pieces of it. So right in here, still need more water than that. Needs to be fairly and then just flicking it in. Let's see. Down here there's quite a bit. Just bring it up into the flower and up there. just on the tips. Might be some. So it's a dry brush. Need a little darker there, I think. And in this bud, there's quite a bit. It hasn't come out yet. Like so. Hi, Nancy. Thanks, Kim. All right. Now we could also put a little stamens and stuff in there. So let's do that just in the yellow. So we'll have a little, like a yellow area. Like that. Let that dry, and then we'll put a brownish area in it. I just want a little bit more green in here. Maybe a little bit of brown in it. More of an olive green. So it's shaded a little bit. Let's see. And in here. Like there. And darken a little bit with the green. Okay, let's do some of the leaves. So this is going to be more or less the lighter areas. So a little bit of that bluish with white. It's kind of a, and we want streaks, so it's a dry brush. So it can be uneven. It doesn't have to look even. Just kind of dry brush it. Just the leaves though. These stems are a little bit different. It's a stem. Add a little bit more weight to it. And just in the certain areas where you might see it folded a little bit, just add a little bit more of a whiter area to it. So right here. there maybe. And then that's their stem, and their stem can be kind of the same, but it's not as streaky looking. They got kind of lines in their stems going down. There'll be a highlight on the top. Where's that? That's a stem there. Actually, to make that darker, right in here, that can be darker. Put a shadow in, actually. Shadow here where just using the plain dark green that I have, that Hussar green I think it's called. I'm just gonna put a shadow in there. Here. 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 So wherever they're overlapping, put a shadow in. Let's see, right here. Maybe here. Here. That could be shadowed. And then I'm just putting a line up in some of them. Where there is a line that goes up the stem. Oh, that's not a stem. That's not a stem. So you can put that in. And I'm going to darken this one stem here underneath because it's kind of on a tilt, so it would be darker. So right in here, this one here, and well, I could do this one too, just a bit. And this one, clean my brush, too much water on it. I gotta find a mixing spot. Let's see, where was I? I'm gonna turn it around so it's a little easier for me to do. Let's see. That one goes down here, so that would be there. This one. Let's see, that one's there, that one's there, this one. Just going to bring it up in there. All right, now the little paper thingies just need a little bit of that burnt cyan or burnt umber on your brush, fairly dry, and then the way the lines on it, it's just on the top, they kind of go on an angle, so you just dry brush. This one here. Oh, I missed it. I missed a spot. Okay, that was this color here. No, that's orange. Oh, see, you got mixed up. Good thing I have my reference. That's supposed to be green in here. A little bit of this. And then smidgen of dark for shading. Like that. And then you can just see a tad of green through this too. So you can just kind of dry brush a little bit of green in there. Same direction that they were going. Just on the... And then you can take some white and do the same thing and just go over top in streaks. So the top part would be a little bit lighter. You can take a marker or a sepia marker and put more lines in there if you want. Just gonna put a little bit of shadowing in here, under here. Here. Just want to show some kind of difference between the overlaps. Let's see, let that dry. Now we'll go back to this, the center of this flower here, and put that burnt umber and a little bit of maybe the yellow. Let's see what we get. want a fairly more on the brown side, but goldy color. And we're just gonna put a few little lines. They're very, very minute. That's about it. So see, they're just ever so lightly. All right, so is there anything else we can do with this? I think we can put a few more lines of the white in. Here and there. Can you guys hear my dogs? They're at the top of the stairs whining. It's time. They're such babies. All right, let's put, if I have a white marker down here. Let's see. Yeah, I got a white marker. I'm just going to put a few highlights here and there. Just a few. Oh, maybe this one isn't working. I don't have the best luck with my markers for some reason. Let's see. So I'm just going to put a few highlight areas. On the top maybe. Just every so often you throw some in. This marker's not the best, but we'll work with it. It's not showing. What else could I use? I have a pen here, but I don't really like using the pen. Let's try this. It's an oil marker, but it's probably not going to work either. I haven't used these in a while. Nope, they're not going to work. Well, I'm going to get a sepia marker and I'm just going to put some lines in here. Just every so often. Where I think it would emphasize something or distinguish where things are separate. This is a fairly fine one. And there. You can use your markers, you can colored pencil. You can put a little bit in there, just all right. Well, I think that's it. There's the hopefully it's not all flashed out on you. There's the finished product on top of acrylic, or not acrylic, scrapbook paper. 4th, 3, 4, 21. So I hope you give it a try. Download the Traceable and use it for whatever you want. Just get creative and try something. It's just paper. That's the only way you learn, is by trying and finding out how things work. You just have to play with it to get better. So don't look at it as this has to be the perfect painting or drawing or colored pencil or whatever you're going to be using. It may take a few times to get this to how you want it to look. So don't be hard on yourself. Give it a try. Do it a few times and you'll see each time you do it, it'll be better, because you learn with each piece. You learn what not to do or what didn't work. So that's it for now, and I hope you have a fantastic creative evening and the rest of the week, and we'll see you next Tuesday for the Watercolor Tuesday. And get your stuff out. Be creative. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody, and we'll see you later. Bye for now.